Welcome everybody to the two-man power trip, the black man starting the nerd lifestyle. I'm Nicholas, Mr. Go with the Flow.
And I'm the man with the plan, Maurice.
And we're back with another edition of the Blerd By Nature Podcast. What's up, co-host?
What's good, bro? What's good?
Big Zilla and the 5'3" Illa from Tokyo, Black Anime Podcast number 202 in the building. Let's step it up. Let's go into some vibe, guys. Let's get the week energy straight off our chest and let's chat about it. How has your weekend and your week been, co-host?
My weekend was good. I chilled with Blerd. We hung out. We had fun. I enjoyed my weekend.
What's up? Same here. Between Annie Tomo stuff and getting to see them boys keeping it 9,000, holding it down and stuff like that. Annie Tomo from the event that I went last year when they promoted that at like last minute, and I found out about it and I got into it and I saw how it was at the library. Between that and this is like the biggest growth I've ever seen since like Anime NYC, that first year where anime was really blowing up. This shit was huge. They picked the right place to go to Japan Village. They had just mad events. They had from like kabuki theater to sumo wrestling to the gaming hall to a whole bunch of vendors and stuff like that. They got to use the area quite nice. The food, the food was already there for Japan Village, and then they had the supermarket there, so you could get all kinds of like Japanese treats. They had like the big like G Kids was talking about their next projects and stuff like that they got coming to the United States in anime movies and shit like that, like just bad stuff. So shout outs to Annie Tomo. It's its second year and it's just gonna keep on blowing up and growing. So shout out to Free Con, hosted and created by two black women. Shout outs to them. And I saw her running around and trying to do all she can to hold shit up. And I know that got to be tiring and shit like that. But they doing the work. They doing their damn thing, and that growth is crazy. So shout outs to them. They're gonna keep growing, and I bet you by like a year or 2 years tops, that shit gonna be charged because there's a shit ton of people over there. So big kudos to them. But yeah, that was cool. And then Sunday I went to the I think it was an all island luncheon, stuff like that for the organization or something like that. They had it in a nice park area and stuff like that. It was real nice. Your boys is on the ones and twos on the grill. I had to fixate that with the homie Jonathan and stuff like that. So overall, it was definitely a good weekend for sure.
No, that's what's up. That's what's up. I didn't know that was the library thing you went to last time. Oh,
yeah, bro. Yeah, Annie Tomo went from that library small thing that they had, which I mean, that had a good amount of people there, but it was like in the setting where it was just like upstairs and downstairs where people cosplayed and do their thing. But like the growth within a year going into Japan Village, like that was, so my cousin went with me and that was her first con, and then Katie was there as well, and then we all just went around and stuff like that and enjoyed ourselves. There was mad events, like it was like, even though it was free and stuff like that, open to the people and stuff like that, like it was like any other big regular con that they have out there, and they did so many friggin' events and so many things planned out. Like Who Wants to Be an Otaku Millionaire was cool. They did The Price is Right anime and stuff like that. Like it was dumb cool, and because I listened to Keeping It 9,000, it was like a regular amount of people that's been on. So shout outs to them getting like the powerhouse guests and shit like that. But that's big shout outs, yo. The shit was lit. Shit was fun. I was only gonna spend I originally was going in there to spend like an hour, 2 hours tops. I got there about 1 o'clock, and me, Katie, and Nicolette, we all left around 7 p.m. So it was a good time. We maximized everything. You saw the cosplay contest and shit like that. Shit was fun. Niggas was on the ones and twos remixing the hell out of shit. Like shit was lit.
That's good. That's what's up.
Yeah. So shout outs to what year 3 could continue with and shit like that. And I know they got it in the bag because they working hard and shit like that. So kudos on them. But yeah, so how was your week within work and stuff like that? What was going on ins and outs of work this week?
So work was this week is always going to forever suck. So
is it lead off from last week's catastrophe?
No. This is the week that Dad and Mom's mom passed away. So I don't like this week. Yeah. So I would never like this week.
True. So it's heavy on all around shit, man.
So lately I've just been keeping distracted. So work has been work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday I was in the office. Mm-hmm. Good. Nothing crazy, except they want to broadcast the Olympics, and we were trying to figure out how the best way to go about it was. Okay. So they're just gonna stream it. Today, Wednesday, was pretty chill. Standard work. Nobody really got on my nerves.
And how's tomorrow looking? Is it a half day or a full day?
It's a full day. They took those away.
Oh, yeah, right,
PTO message that I forgot to ask my manager about in this meeting we had earlier today because I've been distracted. But what I was gonna say? And just recovering from the whole IT mess from last Friday.
True that.
Getting whatever left of that.
Yeah, because that was a wildness. What we recorded last week, and then like the next day over, all hell broke loose by the time we woke up.
Yep.
That was something else, man. But yeah, likewise, overall, it's been kind of a chill week, chill period. I don't think nothing really, we haven't shifted back over. I think they're pretty much almost done with the construction of the new area. So probably by next week, we'll start to shift stuff back over. But right about now, we're still in the same place. And weather is not as crazy as the week before and stuff like that. But it shit is what it is. So it's another calm week overall. So yeah, so that I'm pretty sure that takes care of Vibe Guys for this week, and we can shift over into the off the cuff discussions for this week. Small question, and this is kind of it goes in line of not only this week but what's coming up within next month. But I wanted to ask, how do you feel when many events that you want to go to are booked on like one day? So like specifically right now, currently I've been seeing the travels and arrangements going around, so people are going off to DreamCon right now. We got the homies from VOE and Keeping It 9000 and stuff like that. All of them pulled up, Kevin on stage and stuff like that. Everybody's pulling up to DreamCon now, and then at the same time in San Diego Comic-Con for people as well. And then following next month, as I talked to you from before, it's going to be on the same day. It's Jabba Slam, and then it's going to be Anime NYC, and then it's going to be Afropunk all on the same day. So it's one of those things where it's like numerous stuff is booked on the same day and stuff like that. You may get a ticket beforehand before you realize what's the situation on the other stuff that goes around and stuff like that. Like, how do you feel about like how do you feel about many things being booked on one day and having to,
depending on what it is, but generally it typically sucks because you can't go to everything and you have to pick and choose.
Facts.
So it sucks.
Yeah, especially when you really want to support something, or it's like it all hits around the same part. Like it's an event that you want to go to because you haven't been able to go to the last couple of years, or it's an event that moves for the first time and it's in a very prominent spot and you booked that before you booked anything else, or it's a returning event that you haven't been to in a couple of years and shit's just around the corner. Like, it's a rolling ball of a whole bunch of mess with that.
Yep, like I said, it's just having to pick and choose, especially with the stuff you really want to go to. It sucks. It sucks. It's annoying, and it's just like, oh man, why y'all guys can do day.
You know what's even crazier is when you look at your calendar and you see all those other weeks that you're like freed up for, but everything is concise on that one week, and you're like, damn, if only you could have spread this out, we could have enjoyed this more.
Exactly.
Because with shit like that, you really be catching FOMO. Like, you be at the good event having a great time, then you watch another event, you're like, damn, that looks fun too. And then, damn, that looks fun too. And then it's like, damn, you wish you could split yourself into three ways at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit's heavy, and shit's a balancing mess, and trying to figure out which one to skew towards is always the heaviest shit.
Yeah, for real. It's like, oh man, it's like, man, come on.
Yeah, facts.
Really?
Have you ever had a situation where you haven't gotten like the specifics on like which one to go to, but you're trying to decide, like there's multiple things going on this day, but you're trying to pick like what do you cater to the most and stuff like that? How do you kind of deal with them situations? Do you like feel like you flip a coin, or you try to figure out what's pulling you the most? Or
it's a feeling. Depending on what info I have, I will pick the best option I have at the moment.
I figure that should go with where you feel the hint hits the best. And I mean sometimes if you already had gotten something for something else, that already just takes over that week anyway.
Yeah, so if it's something I have the strongest feeling that I want to go to, then I'll go to that. But if all three are kind of like in the same level, I'll look at each one, see which one has the most info, or which one piques my interest the most, and I'll go that way.
Yeah, it's tough, but hey, we're all trying to have fun in any kind of way we can, and sometimes all the fun is just added up in the same day.
Yep, that's just how it go.
Yep, that's how the cookie crumbles. All right, so closing off on off the cuff discussions, we go into some nerd/reboot news, all just in general. So this past weekend, the big fighting game tournament called Evo had happened, and with Evo passing by, there was a shit ton of announcements about a lot of crossovers, and this year has been a level off of crossovers and shifting and a whole bunch of stuff happening this year. So after the results of stuff that for people who play Tekken 7, they finally, made a big hubbub about that game being like the final battle between the two main characters in the game, Kazuya Mishima and Heihachi Mishima, where Kazuya is supposed to have taken out Heihachi in the game, and then Tekken 8 came along and stuff like that, and we were moving around onto a new generation and stuff like that. Plot twist, Harada said, "Hi, psych, fuck all that." So he brought Heihachi back to life because fighting game characters never apparently die ever, even when they build a whole game around it. And Heihachi Mishima has returned, and for the first time ever, he is DLC. So this is a character who's been in the game for all these years, and then they finally kill him off in Tekken 7 and magically put him in a storyline where he is part of the canon, where he is back to life somehow again. How do you feel about DLC, about characters that's usually like regular characters in the game constantly?
Well, in the case of Heihachi, he's not a regular character. He don't never die.
Yeah, he not a regular character, but it's just like because I've been thinking about it all this week, and I'm still trying to figure out how does this, like, when you go back to like, does Tekken 7 feel like a null and void game, because the whole story of that game was about the death, and then we go into this game and it's like, all right, so time has passed, we're finally moved through it and stuff like that. And it's not like he came back for this game, but it's not like he's like a DLC zombie or something like that. Like, he just came out the ground and he's like, well, I'm just back.
Plot armor.
Pretty fucking much, yeah. Yeah. But how do you feel about like a character that was once, like, just imagine a character that's been in all the Tekken games as like an actual like part of the roster, and now he's officially like DLC. Do you feel like that's a little hankering of marketing, because like they sold the last game on at death, and then this new game comes up and it's like, well, this character's been free all along with the games, but since we technically killed him off, here's him for DLC, where you got to pay more character for the first time for this character.
Yeah, it's a grab, and it's like, some people will be like, yeah, all right, but you can see that for what it is. Like, they're gonna nickel and dime where they can nickel and dime. That's just what the state of gaming stuff is right now.
Agreed. It's definitely a 50-50 decision. It's definitely yielded a lot of, as you would imagine, Heihachi's a face of Tekken, so it's like if people see that you dropped the trailer, even when I saw the trailer went up online, I was like, oh, that's just a parody or something like that. Then I looked at it, I was like, oh shit, this is the real thing. So it got mad views and shit like that, because everybody's like, what the fuck is going on? So yeah, I mean, it worked to grab the attention, but this is like the ultimate grab the attention situation. It is. So yeah, so it was between that. I think Terry from King of Fighters is supposed to be joining Street Fighter as DLC as well. Lucy from Cyberpunk Edge Runners is supposed to be in the Guilty Gear game. There's like a whole bunch of different crossovers and movements. I think they had announced season 2 for Multiverses, where they're adding Samurai Jack, Beetlejuice, and I think the Animaniacs to that fighting game as well.
Wow.
Yep. They're adding a whole bunch of stuff to that roster. They had announced the new Bleach game that's that from the gameplay and stuff like that. It looks like it's on the cusp of being kind of how like Sparking Zero is, and it looks like the formula plays the way the gameplay plays out. It plays with a more personality of a Bleach game and stuff like that, how they fight with Iriki and Shikai and all that stuff. So that's looking good. That's the first nice Bleach game they've had since friggin' I've been in college, with I think Soul Regeneration for the PS3. So shout outs to a new Bleach game coming back and stuff like that. I don't think we talked about this last week, but this kind of melds all the stuff going together. And it's not like narrative reboot news, but it's just kind of news in general. But the whole dealing with not only the outside, this is political part, but this is like the situation with the assassination on Trump, and then Biden dropping out of the race, and then it looks like Kamala is gonna step up in his place and shit like that. Like, it's been a whole shit ton of things happening in the world, in our world, that's just, it's like, damn, shit just keeps on moving. I remember going to the barbecue on Sunday and getting that news about him saying that he was dropping out. I was like, oh shit. Like, it's just a constant oh shit moment that lasts like 3 weeks.
Me, I was already 50-50 on Biden in terms of if he was going to even go again.
Oh yeah, especially after that last debate and shit like that, and everybody having a situation after that. So it was like, let's see if he was gonna make it. And then they said he had COVID, and his team dropped that weird tweet that it was just "I am sick." Like,
yeah,
and this was going weird.
After that debate, I knew it was clipped for him. I was like, he's probably not gonna be able to fill a second term.
And Trump was having a leg up after this whole assassination thing and coming back with stuff which actually garnered eyes on his side and shit like that. Like it was getting real weird on that situation. So
weird times.
Oh yeah, when have we stopped being in weird times? I don't think we get a break off of weird time. Probably always in some shit.
Probably pre-COVID. Last time we had any type of normalcy.
I don't know. We were still dealing with a certain amount of the situations and issues and shit like that before. Like right before COVID happened, we was dealing with causes that was like, didn't we have like wildfires and all that shit? Like when we was about to leave to Amsterdam and shit like that, we saw a whole bunch of shit going down before. We never just expected like worldwide pandemic was gonna hit next.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what the history books write about this time.
Oh boy, that's if they even have books anymore to begin with.
Whatever their equivalent is in the future.
Yeah, they'll hand you a chip and then you'll just know the history off back. Whatever history they want to tell, if they want to Fahrenheit 451 and burn the information out of that shit too. Yeah. More on some reboot news. Now this is on the up and up, but shout outs to the amount of love that Fairly Odd Parents New Wish is getting. The starting of it was like, it was a slow garner of like getting used to different things, but like the shit they've been doing in this series has revived this series tenfold, like they did with DuckTales. I have like the amount of goodwill that they've been putting in the show. It's like all the complaints people made about like SpongeBob as it further went into further seasons, and it kind of lost its love of like how the first couple of seasons are so meme worthy and people enjoy it, and then like later on in seasons and stuff like that, they kind of played the hits to the point where people don't like the new hits they're playing. It's completely opposite with the Fairly Odd Parents. Even though they got Butch Hartman as like co-producer, which is just probably like a hands-off kind of situation. The new people at the board is putting their left, rights, and everything to fix up characters and returns. They returned. They were talking about, I think, when they had Cosmo and Wanda have their child Poof, which is now Perry. But when Poof was seen as like, they said it was seen as like a jump the shark moment for the show, where they did something where it couldn't like regain where its popularity was, which is on the flip side where you see in 2024 they brought back Poof as a character, which he's named Perry now, but he's like an older character, and it garnered a shit ton of attention where a lot of people are finding out about the series anyway, and it just feels like this felt like a moment where this killed the series, and like here's a moment where it's returning people to the series. It's characters like that, characters like Mr. Crocker and AJ and stuff like that. Just mad more episodes that they're dropping, and people are just enjoying the. So it's a nice take that that you can continue a show with a different kind of character, and you can look at the show differently under a different kind of character. This is one of those things. By changing the kid, it actually helps the show to be looked at in a certain way. Going from a white, small 10-year-old kid of Timmy and then going into a black, small kid of Hazel it's a different dynamic of living white and black kids. And sometimes it just works where you can see a different dynamic and all that stuff. But it's getting tons of love, and all the new stuff that they're adding with the show. It's bringing a revitalization back to the Fairly Odd Parents that people thought was long fucking dead. So shout outs to them, and they've posted all the love they've been getting all over social media and stuff like that. So and the season's not even done yet. They got plenty of episodes that they're dropping all around. So people are enjoying the returns and nice things that comes with everything. So speaking of stuff that's working with new series as well, Superman, The Adventures of Superman season 2 just finished. All the episodes is on Max now. Fucking season 2 was phenomenal, where season 1 was giving you a taste of like where stuff is on the up and up and stuff like that. Season 2 kicked the fucking door down. It was really great. Finale was great. This is a great time to be a Superman fan in general, apparently. That was season 2 was killer, and they just announced that season 3 is in production. The Superman team, them niggas make sure people are eating, because once their season's finished, it doesn't take them that long to produce a new season after new season, and they everybody looking with that kind of situation, everybody's looking over at Invincible like a word. Like Superman could drop 10 episodes like there's no tomorrow. Like I think the first season wasn't even that long ago, and then they dropped this season 2, which had even more amazing quality, and they're already in more production for season 3. And you're like, well, goddamn, what y'all doing over there? It's all different studios doing different things, but it's like they cleaning house, and respect the studio Mirror. This is the same studio that did Legend of Korra. I know since the creation of that studio, with all the actions and hands they were throwing in Korra, I knew everything they put their things like towards and their interest in. They always work out, and they have, from the new Voltron series to that series to everything to, I think they've worked on so many things that have been a success. So shout out to the studio.
Yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to them.
Yep. We got a Joker 2 trailer. Did you get to see Fale do the new trailer for the second Joker movie?
That I have not seen yet.
That one is that shit. That shit is given. Just like the Rock slapping his arms like the monitor. That shit is giving true big vibes, and that shit's coming out October this year. I'll definitely be wanting to see that movie. I thought Joker 1 was phenomenal. Joaquin Phoenix definitely deserved the Emmy for that performance and the way he changed his body around and shit like that. And I think the second movie about to blow his hinges off with whatever kind of wildness they doing between Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn and shit like that. And then I think it was confirmed that they're doing their take on Harvey Dent as well. So I'm curious how that shit's gonna go as well, man. It feels like it's not one of those things that's sequel for sequel's sakes, because this is like a mix between a normal movie and then kind of like a musical, but like a Mad Man's musical out of that shit. So they're taking a different approach to this second movie. So I'm curious to see how all of that shit goes under the concept of this Joker and this kind of Harley Quinn. So it's gonna be interesting to see off that.
Yep, that will be interesting.
Yep. And we got some crossover news with this was announced after we, I think, recorded last week, but like the one of the first crossovers that was announced, they're doing a Naruto, and I'm talking about like Naruto, not Shippuden, but like regular small kids Naruto and TMNT crossover.
Oh.
Yeah, this was announced through a comic book series, and they're gonna have a mixture. There's a couple of images going around. Once again, the revitalization of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with variety. We have the ones that we love, that the hood classic niggas of Mutant Mayhem. That's a huge success. And then we have the Last Ronin project that they're working on that's R-rated. And then they're doing amazing crossovers like shit with you wouldn't expect, like them teaming up with Naruto and shit like that, which I don't know how that's gonna go, but that shit's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see how that works. And then the funny part about it is, shout outs to whoever did this. There was like a booth at Anitomo where their big banner for the thing was a Naruto Shippuden style crossover with TMNT, and I was like, how the fuck did you niggas work on this shit so fast? They had the crossover ready, and it was a big banner, and it looked like it was so detailed and ready. I was like, damn, how y'all niggas draw this shit? They only got like a day to draw it. Wow. Shout outs to them. That was their big item, and I think they sold it to somebody or something like that. But it was really phenomenal and shit like that. I don't know how long it took them to work on that, but they had that shit ready for their vendor booth, so shout out to them.
Yeah, wow.
Yep. So yeah, we was talking about the blue screen day last week of all the shit that was happening to all the people, and yeah, do you know whatever came of? So like, do you know further of what the repercussions on CrowdStrike is and any further?
Last I heard, the government was looking into how to have a conversation with them or probe or something like that, just to see exactly what happened. Like I said, once the day it happened, CrowdStrike had released the patch. But what the issue is that the computers couldn't boot into, if they had the bad file, they couldn't boot into Windows to get the patch until that old file was either removed or the registry modified, something to get it to bypass that thing to actually download the updated file.
Shit. So you think they're worried about this potentially happening again?
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah. If you mean CrowdStrike, they probably not, because they probably won't do something like this again. Because
hopefully not.
One, it's dumb to release an update like that on a Friday. That's just a development no.
Oh hell yeah! Especially the amount. I really feel for the people who was really trying to go out and leave on their flights and shit like that, because that was just I was out of everybody's hands at that point.
Yeah, this is probably not the first situation we're going to see like this as we get into things being more automated and stuff like that.
If you was ever a conspiracy theorist, man, last week was your WrestleMania, because if it was ever a person screaming we are too connected to tech and needed a response on what the fuck would happen if we just shut down, that was it.
Yeah, that's what we are. It's gonna get more complicated as we go forward.
Oh, definitely, no doubt about that. And the last bit of nerd news on the docket we have is they just announced that Hunter x Hunter should be returning in manga form September 4th. So for like the 50th time, Togashi is finally got back to work, and I mean, he's been dealing with a lot of pain over the years and stuff like that, and taking a lot of pause and back end and stuff like that, but it looks like he's finally dropping. Maybe I think I heard he worked on like 200 and something pages of a chapter. So let's see how far Hunter goes when he comes back on the manga form. Hunter's having a little something because they returned the form with manga, and then also they have that video game inspired by Marvel vs. Capcom 3 to take on and stuff like that, which they had a new trailer where they showed off more characters from Evo, and I think the trailer was mottoed as the like the opening of the regular anime. So like some anime video games are coming back in stronger force than they ever been, since they were a lot of copy and paste for the longest time. So they're giving us variety in various different ways, which is always good.
Okay.
Yep. So that closes off nerd and reboot news, and we shift over to the main stuff. It's time for the main event. The main event segment of the evening. We back on the comfy couch. We talking about a classic, a Nickelodeon classic indeed. We talking this week about Taina. So let's get into some fast facts real quick. So history, it's an American teen sitcom. This is with the Schnick and T-Nick variety and stuff like that. Usually ran on like Sundays. I remember watching on Nickelodeon and stuff like that Sunday nights. Currently, you can check all the episodes out on YouTube, starring Christina Vidal. I say this is a That's So Raven-like series. That's So Raven came out in 2003. This one came out at the basis of January 2001. Going into May of 2002. This is filmed at the studios in Orlando, Florida, then moved to Nick on Sunset. Had high ratings during its airing. It ran 2 seasons, 26 episodes in all, 13 episodes each. An interesting fast fact is that the person who plays Lamar, his sister, they're both famous in the Nickelodeon family. There are Chris and Christy Knowings. They're twins, and Christy was on All That. She was on the casting role of All That, and currently, after Taina, Chris was known for playing. He was also in the Muppets. I think he's one of the Muppeteers for Sesame Street. So this is basic, called as a girl with aspirational dreams to be a star goes to a school to start her journey to head there. So we can kick off with episode 1. Be careful what you wish for.
Yep, that was the episode. So the episode starts with the Taina theme, which is a nice little bop. I was like, okay.
Yep, Sickin' sounds like a classic music video banger.
Yep, and I was like, oh, okay. All right. And I was like, oh, nice pop. And then the episode starts off, and we see, and then we get our intro to Taina with her extra self.
Yep.
Just full of energy.
Just around, and they made that Orlando studio as best as they tried to make up of New York as they can, and they was saying that they was like in Queens.
Yeah, right. And then we get our intro to her. I guess this is her best friend Renee.
Yep, I can see each other as fuck.
And Renee is just the calm collected one. The Taina is just going on like, yeah, this is gonna be our big break. This is gonna be awesome.
As much as like the vibe that Renee gives me throughout this whole thing, I could not stop thinking about Keke Palmer.
I did the same thing. And
the way she talked, the way she mannerisms, everything was like, what? It's like I was trying to look it up to see if they're relatives or something like that, because it's way too 1v1 here.
No, when I first looked at it, I had the head turn, especially because we looking at 480p quality. I was like, is that Keke Palmer? I was here.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, Keke's her. I was like, Kiki's not that old, so I don't think so. But then I was like, everything she did and even like what she talked about and shit like that, I was like, there's way too much Keke Palmer in this. What is going on?
And I was just thinking about, like, I know Keke been in the game for a long time. So I was
not that long.
And then I told you I was thinking about it. I'm like, no.
Because she would have been a peer with, if she was around this time, she would be a peer with Raven.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like, yo.
Yeah, and Aquila the Bee is a bit from Taina to Aquila the Bee. That's years across. She was a child in that, so it's like, this is insane.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, the age math is not mathing. So I was like,
someone needs to talk to Keke, and I need to find out if she grew up and was Taina one of her favorite shows of all time.
Right, because I wonder if she modeled her look after Renee now.
That's what I'm so curious. There was just not a scene that I didn't see with Renee that I could not stop thinking, this is Keke Palmer. It's like if you could snatch up Raven Simone and Keke Palmer, that's literally this. You could literally do this over with like Raven and Keke.
Yeah, that's how I was like. I'm looking at him like, yeah, this is Keke's style. I'm like, this how I was like, oh.
What even was bugging me out was Taina's pink outfit and shit like that. I swear to God, I've seen that on Raven.
That's was it. I'm like, they maybe did some cues. I was like, oh.
I feel like it was this. I mean, the show did say it had some high ratings, so maybe it was more inspirational than people give it credit for.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Yeah, so
well, I guess if they were little watching this show, it would make sense.
This episode and this show predates Raven by about 2 years, and Keke would have been a young girl at this time, probably watching Nickelodeon. She did enjoy all that. She's passionate about talking about her time watching all Nickelodeon, and she eventually did join on Nickelodeon as True Jackson VP and shit like that. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised she took some cues, maybe.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it makes sense.
Yeah, very interesting.
It makes sense. So, and when did the show come out?
2001. Literally January 2001. So this show predates 9/11.
Yeah. That's I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So we go back to it's the first day of school now.
Yep. It's the first day of school. Like I said, Honor and Renee are making their way over.
Yeah, they go into the Manhattan School of the Arts.
Yeah. And I believe this is our intro to Lamar. Am I correct?
Yeah. They talk about like goals of being a big star, opening, and then Renee's kind of nervous and stuff like that. And this is our intro to Lamar, where he's recording and stuff like that. He recognizes somebody that he thinks he kind of knows and stuff like that. But in the meantime, we get our introduction to also D-Mac. He runs straight into Lamar.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh.
Runs straight into him and messes up his damn recording.
He's like, my thing. You mofo.
Yep. And then they saw the commotion and see what's happening. And Taina calls him Stedman.
I thought she said stuntman.
When I heard Stedman at first, since I didn't look up like who was the characters' names and shit like that, for a hot minute in my notes, I put Stedman. I was like, oh, maybe that's his actual name. I wasn't even thinking of Oprah Stedman.
No, because when I heard that part, I thought she said it's an actual. Of course, there's gonna be stuntmen. So that's what she said.
I mean, that would have made sense too. But so Taina's hyped for the day, and Ren's nervous behavior, even though they see all the clownery happening in the streets and stuff like that. And that's when we get into Ty. Like, so this must be a thing in every episode of the show. But like Ty, she has what feels like visions. It feels like what Raven used to get kind of as visions, but she like sees herself in music videos with like a mean ass choreography going down.
It's like I can see where they took inspirations from the show and the other show.
Because Taina was like, she legit just transports into like this whole music video, and it's the opening song just extended. It starts off with like the opening number and stuff like that. Then it goes into what you hear in the opening, but like everybody's going in their choreography. I was like, damn, son.
Yeah, bro. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Taina was lost in completely her sauce.
So, the next scene, we see Taina. She's actually in the Manhattan School of Arts now, just seeing everything that's going on. She's all in awe. Renee's like,
and then we get our introduction to Lorenza. Yeah, she's trying to get a record deal. She definitely the rival. They beefing. Oh, yeah. Lorenza got me. Lorenza's fucking funny, man. I like her. I like this rival chick and shit like that. man. Her energy is too damn funny. I like Lorenza.
Yeah, I like Lorenza too. I'm like, yo, she had me cracking up.
Son,
I was like,
the next episode with Lorenza had me fucking dying.
Oh,
but yeah,
man.
so we got D-Mac coming over to apologizing for breaking Lamar's camera and stuff like that. He worked all summer flipping burgers for it.
Yep. He was like, "My camera, but now you busted up." And he checked it. He said everything good.
He trying to make sure everything's Gucci. And then in the middle of that, D-Mac showing that he plays every instrument known to man because he pulling out every goddamn instrument. You're like, damn, son.
I'm like, dang, D-Mac. I'm like, okay.
Yep. So they checking out the footage that Lamar got, and he sees Taina. He like, you know what? I recognize her. I'm wondering where she at.
Yeah, Dion was like, all right, she bad. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go to my locker. Peace out. Since you all Gucci and shit like that.
Right.
And then he ends up at his locker, and then before he ends up at that locker, we got Taina and Renee. They open up their lockers to show off their inspiration, and Taina, which I mean, this is telling of an interesting time, but like Taina opens up her locker and she got the actress, the icon, and the superstar. So the actress she wants to be like is J-Lo. The icon is she trying to be like Selena, and the superstar is Christina Aguilera.
Yep, I was like, okay, 90s in deck, okay.
Oh yeah. And then Renee got one hot man. she got her eyes on the prize for certain things.
Right, we see what Renee mind was. I was like, okay, Renee.
Big time. Renee know what she wants. She aiming for it. She definitely got her vision board in her locker going on.
And then
go ahead.
D-Mac.
Yeah, we got D-Mac and Taina finding out because the school is obviously underfunded. That they got to stick 2 people in one of them thin ass lockers.
I was like, oh, bruh. I was like, bruh. I was like, combo locker. I was like, I've never experienced that. I don't think I would want to.
I had a locker in middle school. But yeah, we ain't deal with having to share with somebody else in situations and shit like that. But like, damn, son, especially shit like sharing, that's crazy.
So Tiana goes to figure out what's going on with this shit situation, and then Lamar comes through, trips over D-Mac's music case. He's like, yo, you a jinx. Stay away from me.
Yeah, he like, nah, you doing a lot, man. You doing a lot. So Taina definitely trying to make sure she trying to fix this whole situation go down. And then we cut to Lamar. He got to do ballet now because it's part of his courses and stuff like that. So his only choice is to do ballet. And he's like, nah, bro, I'm not really trying to do ballet right now.
Oh, he not feeling that at all.
Nope. He trying to find every way to get out. And teacher's like, no. You got to do what you got to do, or you gonna fail out this class, man.
Before that, we had Taina burst into her class, talking about the whole situation with the locker and stuff like that.
She said 30. She said like 30 students was picked to share a locker, and Taina was definitely one of them.
Yep. And then the teacher for Lamar, the teacher was not playing. She's like, listen, just be here next class with tights. And she's like, don't nobody want to see Spike Lee? She's like, yeah, don't nobody want to see that. I was like, yeah,
shit, that was the wrong thing.
Yes, I agree. Had no one.
No.
So back in class, the professor basically asked them to do a monologue. So Taina all excited.
Before even when she comes into the class, she already causing a ruckus. The teacher was not with that shit at all.
Not at all. And the teacher looks familiar. I just don't know where he's from.
Yeah, I was trying to think about it because he had a whole bunch of sass.
Yeah, he looks familiar. I just don't know.
We'll Google it. But yeah, so in the midst of going back and forth between Taina and Lamar's class, Lamar is obviously fearful of ballet and stuff like that. But Taina in her class, she's asked to do a monologue. But when she was doing that warm up, once again, these 1v1 cues in my head just keeps coming up on Raven because her doing all that extra shit, I was like, this is 100% shit I would have seen on That's So Raven.
Yeah.
And this monologue, her monologue had me crying. Why she put a nigga in a headlock? Why she put that poor white man in a headlock, bro?
Because that's what J-Lo was doing in the 90s.
Yo, the way she yoked up that nigga, and that nigga was with everything. She pulled him up by his wife beater and shit like that. She put the nigga in a headlock. She yoked him up again. He ain't had he didn't yell back. He didn't fight it at all. She just kept yoking him up, and he was like, "Oh, I guess that's what we doing."
Yo, bro, the fact she had him yoked up. I'm like, yeah, like you said, homie was with the shit. So
yeah, she was doing so much. She was trying to run off buildings and jump off buildings, and she got got to save the president and something like that. She put a nigga in a headlock, grab him up, try to look for a child and shit. Like, I was like, God damn, son, forgot about J-Lo movies like that back in the day.
Right, for real.
Yeah, so teacher was like, that was embarrassing. Roasted the shit out of her stuff. She said, you better come back and do better. You failing out of this class.
Yep. I'm like, yeah.
He's like, shame.
He was like, that was what do you call it? Amateur acting or goofball acting? He called it something.
Yeah, pretty much both. Pretty much he said that all in the chops. It was the amateur goofball type shit. You over egging and shit like that. We trying to be serious over here. So he said, get serious with your next stuff or you're going to fail out. You're not going to be that big star you're looking towards to be. You're not going to be nothing like J-Lo.
Yeah, Taina was after that. She was like...
Oh, her energy was zapped. Because the next scene, we cut to her home where we meet her mom, dad, and grandpa, which is... Her grandpa is obviously her biggest fan because he was propped up with that camera. He was like, where's Taina? Is Taina coming in? Where my granddaughter at? I'm trying to take this photo. I'm trying to have her sign this 8x10 autograph that he already has for some reason.
Yep, and she's like, look, moms and pops is saying like, yo, it's a long way from Manhattan to Queens. I was like, okay, yeah it is.
Yeah. There we go.
So then they said Taina came in, grandpa with the photos.
Oh, but it wasn't Taina. Ready. Grandpa was ready, but Taina wasn't the one. It was auntie and cousin pulling up at the house, which I didn't realize. Yo, shout outs to this lady because the lady who played the aunt, yo, she is the way how she's on shows nowadays. She probably found her big break after Orange is the Black, but she's in shit like Lopez versus Lopez and shit like that. I didn't know she was in the game this long. I didn't know she was playing the auntie in this show. I was like, holy shit, it's you.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, huh. So Taina finally gets the grandpa ready to snap the picture. Taina looks all deflated.
Yeah, she got the hiccups.
Yep, and she got the hiccup.
Yeah, she got the hiccups out of being doubted from the school. This was all in all a terrible first day.
Not the way all her spirit, her energy. It was like,
and she was excited as fuck when we opened this episode. Now she got hiccups and she depressed. She don't think she gonna make it. This first day was already too tough.
Yep. I was like, oh, she go upstairs. We'll take the slow, depressing walk upstairs.
Yeah, but shout out to this family, man. In this first episode, I love this family because they stand 10 toes down with her, trying to find out what's wrong. Support is on 10. I love the relationship she has with her grandpa. The grandpa proving straight off the bat that he ain't leaving his granddaughter at all. She's gonna make sure that she got the big old smile. She understands that she's the best in the world.
Yep, and I was like, yo, family ties, bro. I'm like, family day was dead. It was her rock.
That was strong, and that's what's up. Big shout outs to that. I mean, this already in like 2 scenes, I'm endeared to the family already, so they big ups on that.
Yeah, for real.
Yep. So next we got Taina and Renee talking shit about the teacher until they like low key run into him, and then they change up their whole attitude off that.
Of course they do.
And so in the midst of that, after they leave off with that, Taina goes to talk to her locker mate, but like she's already super agitated, so she brushes him off and kind of pushes him off. She's like, I don't need no help from you right now.
Right. So next scene we see, like you said, they're back in school. They was talking their stuff. And they see the teacher. Renee dips up out of there. See, I was like, she's like, oh boy.
Not trying to deal with that.
And then we see our buddy D-Mac.
Yep.
He's just chatting her up and locker buddies, roommate.
Yep. They trying to do what they trying to do, but like she don't got the time or capacity to talk to him right now.
Right. She's like, listen, I
yeah. So she shifts off. So the friends end up talking about their class struggles with Lamar. He comes for ballet and stuff like that. And like Lamar is hidden in this weird ass outfit that he's trying to hide while he's trying to go through.
I don't blame him. I was just like, son, did son have on green tights?
Yeah, he had on some heavy green tights. He had a trench coat and he was trying to hide and shit like that. And then they pulled the thing to reveal that he was there. And then this nigga was wearing lederhosen.
Right. And I'm like,
Teacher wasn't with none of that shit. She started to tell that nigga take that shit off right now. So he looked like the Jolly Green Man.
Yep, and I was like, teacher grilled him, was like, yo, you know we talked about last week, right?
Yes. The girls end up strictly going straight to roasting Lamar. She was like, they used to call him Lamartian from 2nd grade.
Son looking like he ready to go to Oktoberfest. I was like, bruh.
I mean, hell yeah, man. He looked like one of those. He looked like the old Duck Dodgers outfit from like the 60s. So them roasting Lamar kind of bring brings back the memories, and Taina and Renee instantly know where they remember Lamar from, and they all start to gather up their memories of, growing up together. And there was a time where Lamar, left and they disconnected and stuff like that, but the school has brought them all together as friends again. So they all reconnected after moving away. Renee doubles up on the roast of Lamar, so it looks like the energy of Renee and Lamar go back and forth. They go roast off like that shit was like Martin and Pam.
Yeah, definitely got that vibe.
Gave instant vam off that shit for sure. Lamar suggests the play to help with Taina's work pretty much.
Yeah. So
I said in my notes, Renee and Lamar they got that friend beefing dynamic because they never let off.
Yep. Taina is probably just the middle comment for like, okay, you lucky she here. Yeah, you lucky she here.
Mm-hmm. And then the second Taina got up to go look up some books that she needs to research to be a better actor and shit like that, they got to sniping at each other.
Oh yeah, right. Like I said, yep. Taina she ain't catch it straight.
Oh yeah. So we cut to Taina studying up on everything, making heavy, gestures and shit, make sure she's all good and stuff like that. And then she ends up going to sleep. And then her mom has to wake up because her alarm's been going off for like a hot minute. Oh, and Taina wakes up and she realized she overslept the night and she gotta get a move on if she want to make it to class.
Go, Taina, go.
She's stressed off for everything. Her mom giving her the story of the family and stuff like that, how they moved from Puerto Rico and made something of themselves and stuff like that, and that she's gonna make it in this city and stuff like that, and they got all the faith in her and stuff like that. She can do whatever she wants, and she instills that motivation for the Russian Taina to feel that extra strength to go into class and kick ass this time.
Right, Taina, she's stressing out. She's trying to get whatever she's trying to get off her nose. It's like,
yeah. She had that long drip thing that stayed way over time and stuff like that.
Yeah, and she's just been having a rough couple days.
Oh, facts. This is a heavy start to the school year for sure.
So this days like this.
Oh, definitely, and that's when you need the family to ground you and stuff like that, which is good. So after that, we have our dance transition, which is probably like just a way to tell that we're midway into the episode, and then we have Taina has a new dramatic monologue this time where she goes all in on that, and that shit, shout out to Renee, a day one homie, because she hyped the hell out of that shit.
She damn sure did.
She was ready to give her the Emmy, the Oscar, everything under the sun, because she stood up, clapping, cried, and everything.
The teacher was like, all right, that's what I'm talking about. I go throw you out.
Yeah, he said, you know what, I respect it. You took the criticism and you changed up your shit. That's good for actors. So you get to stand.
He's like, I'm pleased. All right.
He said, I am entertained. You will not be fed to the lions today.
He's like, the makeup on your nose is a nice touch.
Yeah. Was like, shit. That's why I said this teacher the sass master, bro.
Right. And then so Taina, we see Taina having a little conversation with D-Mac in the hallway.
Yeah, she wants to apologize for blowing him off the last time.
Yeah,
they connect, and D-Mac says his full name's Daniel McDaniel, but the people call him D-Mac.
Yeah, so they they got their little truce going on. They got their little sorries.
Yeah. Then they connect over his guitar playing, and then the wildest thing started happening. Taina started singing, and it gathered a crowd, and this crowd gathered together, and we got dances and other music. She's singing the opening again with her rival Lozena, and they this is like the fourth time they've played the song in like the 20-minute. They are def selling the hell out of this song.
Yes, they wanted to bring it home that this is the theme song.
This is I've never seen a show that hammered the theme song but they played this 4 times in the first episode. They're like, you're gonna have this shit stuck in your head by the time you hit episode 2.
Yep, they like, listen, if you didn't understand this was the theme song,
you know who the hell the main person is at the end of this shit. If you don't know who Taina is, it's Taina.
Right? If you didn't know in the beginning, you damn sure know now.
Shit, I was indoctrinated into you and shit like that, because it was like how they just connected over the guitar string and shit like that, and then everybody came around and then just they knew the song, the choreography, choreography. Everybody was dancing around. We had duets going on and shit like that. Shit felt like High School Musical.
Yep, they like listen. They showing everybody. Like, listen, everybody gonna know the song.
Oh, big time. So they definitely shit big time. Whole production going down and shit like that. And in the midst of even the end credits, shit like that, they trying to make sure you know.
Yeah, they're like that's first episode. They're like, listen, if we gonna get one thing, we gonna make sure that they know this song.
Oh yeah, this is even though they didn't call it pilot, this pilot episode is straight up.
Yeah. Like from jump. So anytime y'all hear this song, y'all know what's up.
Oh, facts. That's why it's connected to it many years after. Yeah, definitely. So the end credit plays and they tell her the filming location and stuff like that. And that closes off the first episode. So co-host, what was your final impression on the first episode?
I enjoyed it. Like I said, it was a nice episode.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. I actually, this is the cast of people I enjoy. You got the Toka white boy that D-Mac can do a lot of instruments, but he's cool. He got a lot of stuff going on for him. Lamar's the typical black guy in the midst of this stuff. His dynamic with Taina, I know he got a little crushy crush and stuff like that, but I think his dynamic with Renee is hilarious.
It is.
I love the family. Family is 10 toes down, even with the small scenes they got. I think I love the mom. The dad probably will have more time down the line and stuff like that, but the mom and dad dynamic is great. Grandpa is a trooper, which I could just imagine how great that must be. Anytime
Grandpa is a trip.
Yeah, Taina's down. She got her auntie and shit like that. Like, family is a big thing straight off the bat in this. I think Christina kills it as a main character, and so much that she inspires other people because her definite nature will be copied and used down the line. So shout outs. I think they struck it well with people, and even giving stuff like side characters like Lizanda and the teacher, they're people with autonomy and sass. So shout outs to them.
No, they did good. They definitely did good.
Yep. I said Nickelodeon had something here for sure, and there's a reason why they had high ratings. And before Raven, you can tell the influences even off the clothes, personality, etc. I enjoyed the cast, all pretty likable and funny folk. Def would continue for some adventure.
Yeah, like I said, they did good with it. They did real good with it.
Yeah. This is one, if they were selling the show off of this first pilot and stuff like that, then definitely got it in spades. So shout out to that. And now we end up on let's talk about this episode 2. I've been dying to talk about this shit for a while.
All right, so I'm gonna let you take the reins on this one, Cole.
Nigga, let's talk about Blue Mascara. All right, so we open on D-Mac playing the flute. They had a new setting of Pepitos. This is a cafeteria around the school setting, I guess. They have their own school setting, school to have a whole restaurant setting and stuff like that. And we see the basketball team being rowdy and stuff like that, but they are known as they suck. The what was the name of the basketball team again?
What was this basketball team name?
Let me see. I have it later on in mind, stuff like that. I'll probably come around. Was it the Titans?
I think so. Let me see. Sure.
Yeah, I think it was the Titans. They're known for sucking. They're the worst in the league. They be rowdy, but they be noisy for no fucking reason, but they just suck in general and stuff like that. So D-Mark and Lamar have a little challenge to ball and stuff like that. And they said whoever loses the game got to sign up to join the Titans. And this
don't nobody want to join it. Don't nobody want to join.
Nobody want to join the Titans and stuff. then on the flip side and stuff like that, we got Blue Mascara, a senior trios group walks in and stuff like that. And at first, the first person that I seen in the group that walked in, first thing my eye caught was Adrian Bylon. And I was like, oh, that's cool. They got Adrian Bylon on here and stuff like that. And I was like, That's So Raven and the Cheetah Girls connection stuff, and then the 3LW connection. It's looking, it's looking wild here and stuff like that. It's cool. Their stuff. Then I looked over and I was like, Keely and Notori. Oh shit, they got the whole 3LW in this shit. I was like, oh, heavy 3LW guest starring in your second episode. They already on the up and up, man. Nick spent some bread. I respect that shit. So Taina is infatuated with the group and stuff like that. She trying to figure out how she getting into that group because they look cool and shit like that. They look like they about to take the world by storm, and Taina trying to hop up on this for the superstar status.
Yep,
so
of course.
So we got right off the bat Lamar and Renee roasting each other. Just the energy and vibe they bring towards going back and forth with each other. And then after that, we got the opening. We got the opening that plays with the same vibes as before. We like it.
Yep.
So Renee and Taina show off their charm bracelet and stuff like that. They've been gathering up. They've been talking about how they met in swim class and how they've been gathering up charms, and it's a friendship thing that establishes their friendship over time, and they build up that stuff together. So they're making it apparent that these charm bracelets are important for their friendship and their standards and stuff like that. So we got Blue Mascara singing, and they singing the famous 3LW song "No More" because the second I heard it, I said they got the promises in there. I was like, oh shit. I was like, yo, the second, yo, the massive.
So, question: did the captain watch this episode with you?
When I tell you, I was fighting the urge. I was in this shit, and I had a conversation with Kenya about this, and I was like, first of all, I found out because I didn't know this, and she hasn't. This is my first time watching Taina in years. So for the conversation of me and Kenya to have, I found out that she was the one who told me about Chris and Christy being twins and them being a Nickelodeon duo just in first inference, but it's just the mere fact that Taina is a show she watches constantly. She doesn't watch the show obviously around me, so this is her favorite episode from the show. And I was like, I watched the whole thing, and I was like, had no idea. I didn't know 3LW was in this to begin with, so I didn't know this because there's so many vibes I'll bring up later of a whole bunch of shit. I'm like, bro, this shit makes me think, why was there never any beef between Christina Vidal and Raven Simone? It just feels like with That's So Raven going on 7 seasons and them canceling Taina after 2, I would have been a little beefy after like they came with a That's So Raven. I would have been watching. I was like, I would have been Soldier Boy. I would have been like, they stole my shit ball for ball.
Listen, this feels in a similar way. No, not even. I can't even say that because it's not the same. So
later down the line, I honestly started the way how shit was happening. I would have been like, there could have been definite arguments to say a certain foursome in this episode could have been the Cheetah Girls as well.
Ooh,
that's my hot take. That's my hot take out of this shit. I told Kenya, and she was like, I don't see it, and I was like, I don't know, buddy. I see a lot of things, especially when they did that little music video. We gonna go back in the episode and we gonna touch on that shit. But like they sang No More, and the second they hit promises, you knew I had to pause the episode because I popped greatly. The second Keelan started with the promises, I was like, oh man.
Yeah, me and the captain, we're gonna have that conversation, and I'm with you on there. We could have had a different version of the Cheetah Girls.
This episode in general, I was like, damn, I didn't know the first 2 episodes, especially this episode in general, was gonna be so heated off of that shit. I would have been like, damn son, I would have saved this, and I would have been like, can you come back on for the sequel to do this episode? I didn't know we was sitting on heat like this.
Right? Oh yeah, we could definitely revisit this.
That's why I hit you up instantly after I finished. I was gonna hit you up that very night when I was taking the notes, and I was like, nah, it's too late because I was taking the notes at like 1 a.m. and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna talk about it later. The next day, I was like, bro, I gotta text you about this shit because I had so much fun with the second episode. But yeah, so
start a petition. New Gabriella, Christina, where you at?
Listen, a controversy is crazy in my head with this one. But yeah, so they sing their song and yo, fucking Lorenza. Holy shit. Lorenza tries to sing along with the group and it scares the blue mascara off, and that shit had me dying because Lorenza shows so much personality and shit like that. She think they hate us for running off. She trying to sing off No More and off key and shit like that. Like, bro, I love Lorenza.
She's like, yeah, they just hating. I'm like, Lorenza, really?
That's I think Lorenza is low-key one of my favorites, especially what she does later. But so Lamar and D-Mac come out of the court sweating buckets. D-Mac lost heavy, and Lamar recorded. He got jokes on jokes on jokes. This nigga said, oh boy, look who got to join the Titans now, buddy.
Right, the mighty Titans. I'm like,
so he recording the jokes and stuff like that. D-Mac got to join the ball team now. He's stressed out. So yeah, so here we come to the part that I was talking about earlier. Taina in the bathroom and she sings No More, but it starts to turn into a music video where they all in choreography and all in sync and they all singing together. They singing the promises, and they all got a whole space for her and shit like that. And I'm like, this is the instant moment where I was like, well, that looked like the foursome to me.
Right, like I said, watching them with Tiana, I'm like,
this shit looked perfectly encapsulated. And I mean, they might have not they could have changed up if three, like, there's so much foreshadowing that I'll talk about later about just 3LW in this episode, just in general. But it's just the mere fact that it's like, if 3LW was still a thing, and if they weren't beefing by the time we got to like Cheetah Girls, and then just without how Taina just fit into it. What?
I wonder if this was the original plan.
I don't know how long they've been trying to work on putting the Cheetah Girls together and stuff like that. Oh, and the controversy of this being on Nickelodeon as well.
That's what I'm
Would
saying.
It have been a Nickelodeon original movie as well?
I wondered if this was the original plan, and Disney caught wind and said, "All right, like we can't use Tiana because she's a Nickelodeon property. But we got this Raven over here.
You know how they post up what the cast could have been when they always show like what the Avengers could have been in the 90s with the famous characters. This is exactly what Cheetah Girls would have been if it was in 2000.
Yeah,
spicy hot take: Nickelodeon's 2001 Cheetah Girls would have looked more like this because they had a chemistry and shit like that. And I was like, man, this is some interesting thing here, man. This is an interesting thing.
And when you think about it, when did the original Cheetah Girls come out? 2003?
Yeah, around the rise of, it was around the rise of Raven Simone, when That's So Raven was popping, and this was around the top.
So I think they would have been working on it around this time. So I'm like, it was just,
yeah, man. It was a lot of things, man. I was having funs off of that. Taina and already in her vision spot, having them all come out the bathroom perfectly, and they already hear her. So at the time she was visioning them in the bathroom, they were actually in the bathroom because they make their big appearance after She Sings No More. And they're like, man, I fuck with you. I fuck with that. So I want you to join the team. And they show off their names. They're Gia, Leah, and Rhea. And she's like, I'm Taina. And I'm like, that's not going to work for us. So they was like, how about you just be Tia?
They was like, oh, okay, it'll work.
And off the bat, we already see signs of, the way how Adrienne Bailon, from this point on in 2001, catches this character. She plays this character, this same vibe and character she plays in That's So Raven as well.
Yeah.
She is a boss bully as well. So Gia's already showing off her lead tendencies and shit like that. And it's just like, from that point on, you already know this is about to be a dynamic for sure.
So then we get back to Lorenzo and D-Mac in the Titans.
Yep. So Lamar and D-Mac is in their situation, and he said, they're the Titans team, and he recorded him, and he making sure he signs up for that. And then you got the head captain who's like, well, hold up, Buster. It's not going to be an easy test to be in here. You just got to run one quick gambit to get into this. And he was like, do you own a certain pair of shoes? He was like, yeah. He's like, all right, you in. Nigga, what?
Like, that was it?
Yep.
Really?
He said, I ain't going to fight you on it, brother. You can come straight on in. We are dying in here.
Right.
So we cut to Renee talking to Taina. She telling her all about she about to be joining Blue Mascara. They about to go on a world tour, saving everything and hyping up shit. And Renee hyping up. She's like, yo, fam, I'm so proud of you. You worked hard for this, and we already in it. 2 episodes in, and look like Taina about to be the star she was already looking for in that first episode.
Right, for real. I'm like, okay, Taina, we see you.
Yep.
Raven see you too.
Yeah, very well. Very well. Well, when what was it? They used to have the memes where they'd be like, I'm telling you, this you could copy off my homework, but don't make it too familiar.
Oh, shit.
I'm telling you, man. And it's so funny because in our Vault series, we have done the first couple episodes of That's So Raven.
Yes,
it's just it's like the comparison is palpable here. We know specifically that these comparisons are very palpable here.
Yeah, they are. And I'm like, yo.
Yeah, very much seeing this shit. So yeah. So they show the next scene, we show the train stations and transitions and stuff like that. They trying to give you more of a feel of that this is still New York, and the Gia, Leah, and Rhea, they come over to give her a whole makeover. So it's a whole fit monologue and stuff like that that just goes up, and they breaking her down and giving her a whole makeover, bust down, giving her nails and lashes and shit like that, putting her in that blue long long dresses that they like to put specifically on Asian girls and stuff like that.
Yep. Yo, bruh.
Yeah, they breaking that down. They say you one of us, you really gonna be one of us here.
Yeah, they really turned her into.
They really turned Tia. Yep.
Right. So we right. And then at this point, right, we see Taina and her mascara set up.
Yep. And she's trying to open up her locker and shocks the shit out of D-Mac. You're like, oh shit! I thought somebody was robbing my locker.
Right. And then we see Renee pull up, and Renee, she's hyped for her. She's like, Tiana's like, oh, I wish you could come. But I'm like, oh, don't you start that bullshit, Tiana.
Yep. Already, she was like, I wish you could come, but they told me it's a closed rehearsal and stuff like that. But I'll see you for the mall afterwards. We still got that. We still connected here. Right. And so Renee like, all right, I understand. I'll catch you later, girl.
And then we see them performing. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's getting spicy now. I mean, so D-Mac is in the midst of struggling with dealing with, the worst basketball team in the high school league, the Titans, while Blue Mascara is all practicing, and they like Tia. They going bar for bar, blow for blow in their song. And that's another thing about this show. I think when they pick a song or a song that they want to fixate on in the episode, they gonna sell the fuck out of that song, because they definitely played No More Promises about like 5 times in this episode.
Listen, they went to the Go Say School of Selling, man. Listen.
Oh, 100%. Because if there was a Go Say branded shit, there'd be Go Say all over this episode for sure.
Yeah.
If Go Say was the guest star, he would be singing all through the episode.
Listen, I was like, when they was up on stage, I'm like, somebody put a cover of the Cheetah Girls up there.
Man, listen.
Run the music in the background.
I could they could run the same thing, and they could sing that Cinderella song from Cheetah Girls 1 as well. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, these parallels are strong as fuck.
Yeah, she gonna hit it when she hear this, but that's what it is, Captain. This is what it is.
Shit, I'm already thinking of cheetah themed names for this episode.
Oh shit! Yo, man. But what caught me, like, after Renee popped in and then Tiana dipped with the group, she left the bracelet. It was like Renee got her. I was like, oh,
well, even before all that, Gia, Leah, Rhea, especially Gia, she was like, Tia, you were perfect for this group. Everything's great, except for this damn charm bracelet. And they snatched it off her. And you was like, damn. Even I was like, Gia is mean. Yeah. Leah, played by Keely, she snatched that charm bracelet off her like she was a robot. She snatched that shit ASAP. She's like, give me that shit, bitch.
Yep. When Tiana got home and she opened the door, Mom looked at her like, what the hell are you?
Yeah, it was dealing with a lot. They told her she got a costume fitting next, so she got a dip on Renee. They not going to the mall, shit like that. She's like, I'm sorry, Renee. We'll catch up another time and stuff like that. I gotta stand 10 tones down. I'm trying to be a superstar. So Renee definitely feeling that she got stood up, and then she ended up finding that charm bracelet that they snatched right off of Taina and placed it straight on that table.
Yeah, and so now when Taina gets home and she looked at Mom and she was getting ready to call Renee, and then she realized she ain't got the charm bracelet. She's like,
her mom said that Renee had called, and she said something about the charm bracelet, and she was mids in about to call Renee back, and she was like, nope.
She's like, she looked at her wrist. She's like, oh shoot.
But what kept throwing me off though, Taina kind of had me messed up on a personal level with this, because her obsession with putting her damn shoes on every couch is blowing mine. She acting like she is not a minority, bruh. Like, she came into the house, she got shoes on the couch. She go into the Pepito restaurant, she got shoes on the couch over there. I'm like, girl, you are pissing me the hell off. Get your shoes off these goddamn nice ass places, man. I'm like, there's multiple scenes of her, the minority, put her shoes on other people's couch. I'm like, girl, stop acting like this.
Yeah, that's
I'm like, who you got your grandparents in the house and shit like that? You got your mom and dad. I'm surprised your mom didn't smack you with a chancleta right off.
I was waiting for it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the mom, that whole scene kept like, I was paying attention to half the scene that was going on, but then every time I kept looking at her feet, I was like, shoes on the couch, girl? You sure nobody gonna smack you for that shit?
Right.
Crazy. But yeah, so like we were saying, she realized she ain't have a charm, and she was not calling back her friend to have this conversation about, I lost that shit. So not the way she been blowing her off, that like she instantly realized that's gonna make her feel like shit.
Yeah, bro. And I'm like, ooh. So like I said, now at this point she gets back to the, I'm gonna call what they call this place, a cafe or whatever the case is, but she's looking for the bracelet.
Pepitos or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, she's looking for the bracelet. Yeah. And then she see Renee.
Yeah. So Blue Mascara wants Renee to open with her stand-up and stuff like that.
And so Renee is hyped. She's like, I got all new material.
Yeah, she prepared and stuff like that. And Renee said, "Oh yeah, I got your bracelet and stuff like that." But when she tries to hand back the bracelet to Taina, she don't want it because it's seen as a nah. She kind of grown out of it and stuff like that. All words kind of being fed through her through Gia pretty much.
Right. I'm like, Taina, don't let that peer pressure get to you.
And boy, is it hurting Renee. Renee has had it up to here already. It's been 2 days and you were fucking me up, bitch.
Right.
Because she is like, all right, I could deal with closed rehearsal. I could deal being shunned. I could deal with you changing up plans. But you gonna toss years of friendship that we just talked about the damn charm bracelet. I know you gave me an up and up to be on the thing, but now you being an asshole here.
Nah, for real, right? She's like, I'm about to drag you and Blue Mascara.
Facts. She's trying to drag you and all your fucking mascara.
Yep.
So in the midst of that, Lamar's messing with D-Mac more on game day, clowning him up and down. And then in the midst of that, Renee not feeling Taina and the mascara, so she out.
Oh, not at all.
So she out. At Gia, right after that, she was just randomly like, you know what? The crowd wants more of us. So you know what we're doing? We're going to cut the Renee portion. They don't got nothing to do with Renee. She don't got to open for us. We'll open for ourselves. I was like, Gia, low down, dirty.
Ooh, Gia.
Yeah, so she going in. She was like, somebody grab a bucket from my crocodile tears. Boo hoo. I was like, damn, Gia.
Oh nah, see, that couldn't have been me because just you're not gonna about to do my friend like that. We gonna have to
Facts. Fight. You didn't talk about that shit out of. And then she said, let me keep it blunt for a change. I'm like, bitch, you been blunt this whole episode. What you mean?
For a change? What?
She's like, let me be blunt for a change. I was like, damn, son. So this whole other time wasn't you being blunt? You ain't smoking blunt? Like, goddamn.
Right, you saw New York come out of me real quick. I'm like, what?
She kept it real 300 with this, and I put this in bold as I heard this line. She believed in dropping friends to head to the top. And I said, this is a absolute premonition on 3LW.
Oh, right. That makes.
She said she believes in dropping friends to go to the top, and Lord, did I just look at Notori in that very situation? Yeah. Boy, is a controversy about to hit you like a slap in her face.
I'm like, ooh, wow, this is some foreshadowing here. Oh man,
you love when art mimics life because damn, when she said the internal thoughts out fucking loud.
Yes, she did.
They was writing the future like no tomorrow. You gotta leave your friends to head to the top, and boy, I'm talking about 3LW beef. I'm talking about Cheetah Girls beef. I'm talking about life just after all this Disney Channel shit. I'm talking about where everybody's life is going in the future. I'm talking about everything. This shit is bitten.
Yeah, cool.
So Taina ends up, she's like, nah, fuck out of here. This is some garbage. Taina tells them off. She was like, Gia, Rhea, Leah, Tia just gotta see you, and leaves the group. So Taina tries to go look for Renee and stuff like that, and she tries to apologize to her for all the bullshit that she put her through in these last 2 days. She's like, these girls ain't it. They ain't what I thought everything was hyped up to be about them. And then in the midst of that, they talking about trying to see the game, but Renee's like, yeah, I left halfway through. They down by 68-0. I was like, God damn. So Renee ends up giving Taina her bracelet back. They hug and they connect and stuff like that. They all buddy again, and they fix up that stuff. And then in the midst of that, a hypeness starts to come out of the game. D-Mac got a single score in the game, and they hyped. They acting like they done won everything. The game went to 87-2, but they hyped because this is the first game they ever made in Titan history.
Right, they actually scored the board.
D-Mac. They hype each other and they sell it. They take it all the way to Pepitos and they celebrate with milkshakes and they hyped and shit like that. The girls give D-Mac a kiss, and homie on the squad was like, well, what about me though? And they give D-Mac another kiss off of that. And he like, God damn, man.
Yeah, D-Mac living life right now.
Oh, facts. D-Mac feel like the man, right? And on the contrary, we got Lamar who feeling extra depressed. He don't feel like it's funny anymore now that D-Mac score. He giving him his props, but he tight because he can't clown about it. And he probably even more tight because Taina kissed him, and he got a low-key crush on Taina too.
Oh yeah, he big tight about that.
So yeah, he big mad about it, but he give him his props and stuff like that. He like, man, it look like you doing something for the Titans. You doing something. I give you props. I can't clown you no more. It's no longer fun because you actually scoring and feeling like the man right now.
Right, he's like, hey man, I can't clown. He's like, I can't clown you no more.
Yeah. So we shift over to Pepito, and he having his big show to start off with Blue Mascara, and they performing. And I said, that's when I noted. I said, okay, they got to have a max play of one song each episode, because this is like the third or fourth time they playing this one, and they doing their whole performance. They definitely got promises, and they definitely worked that deal. They was like, we're not getting into this episode at all without being signed off on promises.
The look on Renee's face when they came out, she
said, these bitches again. But Taina she was like, no matter how stingy they asses be, they actually still fire though. She still fucks with them. She like, nah, you know what? Give them credit. They still got talent. And then we see fucking Lorenza off stage matching the dance choreography to Blue Mascara.
Of course she was.
I said, and she was in the fit too. I said her Blue Mascara groupie cosplay is hilarious. Yep. I love everything about Lorenza. This is exactly top tier peak comedy character.
I was like right there in the side. I was like, yo.
And then in the midst of her being on, it's not even like they shunned her or nothing. Pepito grabbed her, snatched her up, and pulled her to the back like it was a hook. That shit had me crying.
What are you doing?
Listen, whole song end credits. They played the whole song in the end credits as well. So they definitely, I said this is studio labeled and everything like that. But now from the 10 no notes. I love this episode. Top to bottom. This episode was foreshadowing. This episode had me feeling hot takey. This episode had me crying on multiple levels and shit like that. I found my top character in Lorenzo and shit like that. Guest starring the show. I thought at the very beginning of the episode, I thought it was just going to be Adrian Bylaw, and then that was going to be the connection in general. But seeing the whole 3LW being in here, foreshadowing them breaking up soon and everything about the controversy of this show already feels like That's So Raven. Even the high school they're in feels like the high school from That's So Raven as well. But it was just so many connections. And then you got 3LW, and it's like they're not beating the allegations at all.
Yo, they're not.
Like, I don't know why there aren't more videos of like Taina versus That's So Raven. Because I did this.
While we were talking, I was doing a search to see if I saw any. I see that.
It feels like a whole market was missed out on beef on that. I feel like there must have been an interview at some year or some point in time with Christina, and they were like, so how do you feel about That's So Raven and Raven Simone and her kind of taking over where you left off? I mean, they canceled your show. So like, how do you feel about that? And I would have been like, well, what the fuck? Bar for bar. What the hell? Come on, Disney, you could have picked me up too.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was like, I wonder why Disney ain't picked this up.
Like, listen, I'm trying to find out in my memory banks. And you know what's funny? In 2003, was that not when they did Freaky Friday with Christina Vidal in the damn movie? She was in that movie with Lindsay Lohan and what's her name? I'm banking on the name for Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, it was the remake of Freaky Friday done by Disney in 2003 as well. So you're telling me that whole time they never interviewed her about, well, there's a show called That's So Raven also on Disney. And how do you feel about that being where you was on your own TV show for a while? Like, I feel like there was the stars were too aligned. She was working for Disney at the time. Like, you're telling me at no point in time, I got to do research and find out if she was ever in an episode of That's So.
Oh, that
I have to find out, man. That just by the least of that, like, just I feel like they missed the mark. They could have been there could have been conversations. There could have been a whole bunch of people who wanted a Taina and That's So Raven crossover because she was in San Francisco and she was in New York. You telling me there wasn't a time where niggas couldn't have linked up?
Wow, are you serious? Christina Vidal, she was in that movie that Kane did, See No Evil, back in 2006.
Yes, she was too. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she does. Like I think her current thing, she was what she's doing now. I think there's a show called Primo on Amazon Prime /Freevee and shit like that. It's one season, but it's funny as hell. But like she's been in sparse things for a long time. But like, it's crazy, man. Her career is something else.
Yeah, that's wild.
But I feel like they left something on the door with not doing crossovers or more stuff. I feel like she should have been in that shit for like just for jokes. Just for Whoever knows, man.
Yeah, bro. Whoa.
They could have been a special off of that or something. But yeah, so that's gonna close the book on Taina. That was a good one. That second episode was 10/10, no notes for me for sure. Yeah, shit, did we? Yeah, I mean, what? Hell, before I close completely off the book, what was your full-on final impression for episode 2?
Yo, I loved episode 2. Episode 2 was funny. I enjoyed everything about it.
Selling me on episode 2, yeah, I like. After episode 2, definitely, since it's only 26 episodes. After I'm finished with whatever I'm binging right now, that's just next up on the list. I'm gonna finish the whole rest of the series because I was googling some shit and I think like Nick Cannon showed up later in the show and stuff like that. Like I'm trying to find out what the hell was going on in season 2.
Yeah, yo. This is crazy, yo. Like I said, this episode was just real fun. It was real fun. The comedy was there. The jokes was there. 3LW just being there was just, yo.
They got big names and shit like that, and they continued over. So I shout out to them. I enjoyed this episode a whole bunch. So
Blue Mascara, yo.
Blue Mascara is definitely going to be saved. It's my favorite. Like I like that episode instantly on YouTube. That's definitely an all-timer episode with the way I'm coming in with hot takes and shit for sure.
Mascara, bro.
Yeah. So closing off the book on that, I said so preview for next review episode, since we haven't touched on some anime stuff in a while. I said our next up stuff on anime, I think we should dive into a classic here. We should do Soul Eater episode 1 and 2. This is an anime on you can find it on Crunchyroll, Hulu, Disney Plus, and Amazon Prime currently. So yeah, so we'll be touching. I was gonna put another show, but then I realized it's been a while since we tackled some anime stuff. So I was like, let me go on the anime genre and stuff like that. So a classic like Soul Eater, like let's step into that. So yeah. So we got an email set up at blerdbynature@gmail.com, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Blerd By Nature, Twitter /X at Blerd By Nature, nature spelled Nature. Calls, hit us with the YouTube.
You can find us on YouTube by searching for Blerd By Nature Podcast.
Yep, and we're available on all podcast platforms all around and stuff like that. Check out, as we are recording here right now, our last uploaded episode is still the Japan trip recap and stuff like that. Enjoy all varieties of different episodes that come across. I go on the timeline and stuff like that all the time, and they're bringing up shows, they're chatting about stuff, and we have episodes discussing on a whole bunch of stuff. I seen like a conversation of people bringing up Toru, and I brought up, yo, you want to talk about Zuko being one of the best redemption arc? We got to talk about my man's Toru. Toru had a good redemption. If y'all want to talk about Zuko, Toru was right there. Before we had a Zuko, there was a Toru. Toru had fantastic, like from him being a season 1 villain all the way to being like one of the mainstays to even having his own character and his own, interesting in season 4 of Jackie Chan Adventures. Like, bro, Toru is one of them. So you can go back in our Jackie Chan Adventure episodes and tackle on that. Like we got episodes, guys. We got episodes all around. It's you can watch it at any time because the shows is always gonna be there. So a big shout out to that. Any final notes before I hit the outro co-host?
I like this Cheetah Girls version.
I guess they had some broken promises. Man, this is some spice to come for another time down the line. We gotta hold and remember this for sure, because man, this shit was fun. But definitely on that note, thanks for joining us today from Black Thought to Nerd Power. This is Nicholas, Mr. Go With The Flow.
And this is the man with the plan, Maurice.
And this was another edition of the Blerd By Nature podcast.
Thank you for listening, everyone. And until next time, peace.
Taina Cheetah Chatter.